Hello, loves. A day in my life, Monday edition. I get up at 7 o'clock so that I can go ahead and wake my son up for school. He just turned 12, and I told him next year we're going to start practicing you waking up by yourself. We tried it a couple of times, and he missed the bus. So, time to wake him up. I turn on the light, and I open up the blinds to let some light in. Thankfully, he's not the type who just lays in bed for a while. He actually does get up right away. Then I go ahead and I make him his lunch. He is very picky, you guys. It's so hard to feed this child. Spare me the he should eat what you make him and that's it. Because my mom forced me to eat meat and chicken up until I was 12. And I couldn't stand it. Anywho, I try to be as healthy as I possibly can. So I have the Shabani yogurt, which I believe is the healthier version. I know the Capri Sun is not that healthy. He does love seaweed. I cut him up some strawberries, some baked chips, and some French toast sticks. I also cut it up for him because of his braces. They're still hurting. He just got them last week. Now, while I wait for the bus to come, I go ahead and I prep my green powder, which is Kiala, which I don't know. I'm not really sure if it's benefiting me or not, so I might stop drinking it. Afterwards is my cup of coffee in my beautiful Ariel mug. I do love Ariel. And we used to get Starbucks K-Cups, but since they support genocide, I stopped getting them 6 months ago and switched to this brand, which is from Sam's Club. Took a couple of days to adjust to the flavor, but honestly, now I can't really tell the difference. And it is $10 cheaper. So this is when I sit down, drink my coffee, and go through my social media, kind of catch up on my news and stuff. And yes, I get my news from social media because I don't trust Western media. This is my quiet time before the day begins. So I try to work out 5 days a week. I try. And I last for a good 45 minutes or so. I did start weightlifting 5 months ago. To be honest with you, I have not noticed a difference, and I feel like I actually gained weight in my midsection. I don't know if it has to do with my age or premenopause or what it is, but it's actually very frustrating, and I'm borderline getting upset about it. Anywho, I do this for my health. I've heard and read that weightlifting is great for your bones and health. I sure hope so. Then I sit down for a little bit and I catch up on YouTube comments. So I usually catch up on the last 2 videos I post. I go through and I reply to as much as I can. So if I don't comment on older videos, this is why, because I generally just go to the newest ones. It truly does take a while. I try to reply to most of them, but when there's a lot of comments on a video, that's usually when a video does really well. I get to like the first 50 or so. So forgive me if I've never replied to you, but I do try. You'll notice a lot of them are repeat comments. Sometimes I'll copy and paste. That's why you'll notice my comments are very similar. I also do reply to troll or hate comments. I'm trying to teach myself to not let it bother me. Like this one was really no big deal. I mean, you know what they say, if you're not getting hate on the internet, that means you have not made it yet. All right, time to get up because I have a busy day, so let's do the bed. Oh, if only it was that easy. Next is my son's bed. Yes, I do his bed. And this is only because I do not want to wake up earlier to give him time to do his bed. We'll practice on that in the summertime. Next up is a quick shower. And I thought I would share with you how I do my makeup. It's not really much. I don't like to put on a lot of makeup, to be honest with you. And I don't know if what I'm putting on is considered a lot of makeup or not, but this is just to freshen up my face. So I start with a sunblock, of course. And then I add a little primer around my eyes just because there's wrinkles there now. And I hate the look of the concealer settling into the wrinkles. I add a tad smudge of eyeliner, and I put some concealer on the corner of my eyes as well as just sporadically throughout my face. I also put a light powder to help blend everything in. And then I get grossed out and I feel like I put too much, so I wipe a little bit off. Some blush, because I feel like blush really just brings everything together. Some mascara, and then last but not least, some chapstick. I also put colored chapstick on in the car, or I'll use a lip stain sometimes. Okay, my normal Monday does not include me going and getting groceries. I have to go get groceries. I usually do that on Sundays. I write out my grocery list for the week and what I'm going to cook for dinner. But yesterday my son had a game, and you guys know if you take your kids for sporting or whatever, these things take forever. So I couldn't. And my husband was planting flowers. So we were both busy yesterday and I couldn't. So I'm going to go get the groceries today, because obviously I need to for dinner for the week and for my cake orders. Yeah, so I normally stay home, and like right now I would be baking cakes so I can get that out of the way and then let them cool off, wrap them up and freeze them. But unfortunately, I can't do that right now. I gotta go grocery shopping. So I made a quick stop at Target because I saw a TikTok that said they had a few modest outfits for us hijabis, and I just had to go. I tried on like 20 things, I swear. And then afterwards, I went to our local Arab market because usually the fruits and vegetables are much cheaper there than like your big markets like Kroger or Myers. So I always have a shopping list that's a little bit separate. And I know many of you asked, can you show us how you grocery shop and whatnot? But I feel so embarrassed taking the camera out. I don't know how those people set up tripods. I mean, more power to them. Maybe one of these days I'll get over it. But this is all that I have in my cart, and I usually do self-checkout just so I can see what the price is. All right, time to lug all of these groceries into the house. I think the worst part of it is lugging them in and then putting them all away. So Target has some modest clothing that they're selling. So look, and their pants. They have like those linen pants for like the summer. Bought a black pair.
Oh, yeah, I think I have the same ones.
Yeah, there, and then just for the undershirts. And then I bought a black pair, but like a nice one, you know what I mean? Yeah, so like a little bit fancier.
What size?
These are size 4.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, see, like this one will look cute with what I'm wearing right now. You know what I mean? Right? But I bought a fancy one. Same kind of pants, but fancy.
Yeah.
See? Right? And then I got a black tank top. And I bought one of these because these are darker. These are darker. Nice, huh? So I bought a lot of pants. I'm happy. But the shirts weren't, they were okay. But why do they insist on making the mirrors so ugly? Like, I felt hideous. All right, time to go ahead and put everything away. So I wasn't able to wake up for morning prayer, and so I have to make it up in the afternoon prayer. So again, Muslims pray 5 times a day. Shia Muslims combine the prayers together so that it's 3 times, but it's still 5 prayers. So we have the morning prayer, then the afternoon prayers, and those are 2 of them, and then the evening prayers, which are 2. And since I didn't wake up for the morning prayer, I just bunched it with the afternoon prayer. So I'm doing 3 prayers. And for those of you who were curious last time, it's pretty much a bunch of sayings in the Quran, like verses from the Quran that you say. It's just repeated throughout all the prayers. Once you learn it, it's so easy. It took my daughters a week to learn how to pray all on their own. And now it's time for dinner. I am making a simple dinner today. Macaroni blaban. It's basically just spaghetti, and I use thin spaghetti with a yogurt type of sauce. And the yogurt consists of an entire tub of Greek yogurt. Now I get the Arab Greek yogurt. It's called laban, so you can get that from any Arab local market. Mixed with crushed garlic, a little bit of water, some crushed mint as well, and just a little bit of olive oil or some butter. And you just mix that up with the pasta. I know it sounds like a really weird dish, but this is something that would be really good to eat during the summertime because you actually eat it cold. Yes, you can see the steam coming off of it, but you leave it on the side for a little bit or you refrigerate it. And then you also add some pine nuts on top. I don't know if you guys know, but pine nuts are super expensive. Like organic pine nuts are like $30 a pound. It's crazy. But I just buy the regular ones, which for a small handful or so is like $10. But they're literally so good. Now I know everybody else wants some protein so they can get full. So I just put some meat. Oops, gotta take that out of there. And I get my meat from my local Arab market as well. It's halal. And then I just added some regular spices like allspice, some salt, some pepper, and mixed it all together until it was cooked thoroughly. By the way, halal just means that it is butchered in a very humane way, and the words of God are spoken prior to butchering the meat. But it's the cleanest meat you can get, and when it's butchered, it's done in a way where they feel the least minimal pain. So you add it on top of the pasta dish, but since I'm a pescatarian, I'm just gonna eat the pasta by itself. Okay, now that dinner is done, I am actually behind on the day. Remember, today is the day I usually bake, and I do not do my grocery shopping on Mondays. So doing that actually put me about 2 hours behind. So I'm starting off with chocolate cake. I used 3 boxes. Yes, I used box cake. For those of you who don't know, I do doctor it up, meaning I add an extra egg per box and I use milk instead of water. And I use Pillsbury. I used to use Duncan Hines, but I switched over recently to Pillsbury because it's just so much more moist. I didn't realize how moist it was until I actually tried it out for myself. I always assumed it wasn't the better brand because it was cheaper, but that's not the case. I sprayed my pans using Pam butter spray, or baking spray. I also used to use Baker's Joy, but now they're both the same price, so I prefer Pam's. So I tap it out so I can let all the air bubbles out, and then I bake all of my cakes at 325 degrees. This helps them to give an even rise. And I set the timer for 30 minutes. Obviously, some need more time than others. So as soon as the 30-minute mark is done, I check on them sporadically. So I do have 2 ovens. That's pretty nice. I can get a lot of cakes in at once, and I put it on the top shelf and the middle shelf. And you'd be surprised, they do bake evenly. The only thing that doesn't bake evenly are cupcakes. And it is now finally time for me to sit down and eat. Yes, this is a lot of pasta. Okay, don't judge me. I'm starving. This is probably why I'm gaining weight in the midsection. But listen, all I had was that tamar, and well, I did have a little bit of salad. But anywho, yeah, time to eat. And I know sometimes we eat as a family, sometimes we don't. Everybody has different, like my girls are at college now and at work, and then my husband's still at work and I'm not waiting for him. He's taking forever, so yeah. Okay, time to take the cake straight out of the oven as soon as it's done. So I didn't show you guys all of it. I mean, you guys already know, drop it like it's hot Monday. So I already had dishes in the dishwasher, and now I have to do all of these by hand. So let's watch me do some dishes on 10 times speed. Okay, I actually cut a lot out because it was really, really long, even on 10 times speed. So I use Wilton pans. They're pretty good, and you'll see a couple of other brands in there. But Wilton I find is the best. I've had these pans for 12 years. And I never put them in the dishwasher. I always wash them by hand. So that was a good 25 minutes of washing dishes. Not bad, actually. Now let's go ahead and saran wrap these cakes. So they have cooled down by now. And I go ahead and I just wrap them in saran wrap. And then I put them in the freezer until I need them. It actually helps to make the cake more moist. I promise, it's science. Look it up. And here's the satisfying part of cleaning the counter. Last time I asked my son if he wanted to eat it, he's like, ew, no, gross. I had some people comment that they would like to eat it, and I'm like, ew, no, gross. And now I am cleaning the kitchen once more again, spraying down all the countertops and then scrubbing them and cleaning them. Also cleaning the stovetop too. You know, I always wanted one of those glass top stovetops, but then I really like the use of fire, but I know the glass ones are just easier to clean. These are annoying. See, I'm not very exciting. All I do is just clean all day and run errands and do chores. Wish I can bring you guys some more excitement. Now here I am. So I had some garlic in the house and I purchased extra, and now it's time to go ahead and pick them apart, peel them, and then grind them up so they are ready to use for the future. Yes, this is very, very tedious, but in the long run, it's better. Okay, it is 9:04 and I am exhausted, but the last thing I have to do is basically mop the floor, which I did but forgot to record. I'm so excited to wake up and do this again tomorrow. Can you tell I'm tired from my voice? And we end the night with the evening prayer. So this also is 2 parts and we combine it. Okay, it is now 10:18. I finished a little earlier than usual. Usually I finish at around 10:30, 10:45, and then I sit down for an hour and watch my comfort show, which is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I've watched it like 12 times, yeah. And I eat a little snack. But first, on the way up to put my son to sleep, and look at this. It's folded but not put away. How many of you moms do this as well? I'll just get my girls to put it away. And I have my termos. Termos. Do you guys know what that is? I don't know what they're called. Is it lupita beans? I don't even know, but they got a lot of protein. Pretty good. You put some camon on them with some salt and some lemon. I like them. And my baked chips. And we're going to watch some Buffy. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good night, everybody. And I will see you for my next A Day in My Life of, and I'll choose a different weekday. But it'll probably be most likely the same thing. But it's okay. Good night.